Hi everyone, welcome to my channel M2K tutorial. So today we're going to learn about the DOM events. So as you know, for the purpose of the JavaScript to make your page interactive, event help in that thing. So let's say you have one button in your page and you want to click it and you want to perform some action, then you need to add some event to that button, and using that event you can also call your JavaScript function, and after calling those functions you can do whatever you want with the JavaScript. So today we're going to learn about multiple events which we can put with the HTML elements to make things interactive. So please watch this video till the end to learn all of that. Okay, so let's see one example here. So we have one div which is a simple div, and then we have button which says change div color. So what we want, after clicking on this button, we want to change the color of the div. Okay, so here you can see we have one div with the ID and the button with the ID color changer. Now if I want to put some event on the HTML element, I can write directly in our HTML element. So for the click event we can write on click, and this is standard. So on click, and then in this attribute on click we can call the function which we want to run after clicking on the button. So right now just write the name change div color, and this is a function. So this is the same function we're gonna create in our JavaScript file, so that after clicking that this function can be run. Now we want to change this color of this div, so we need the reference of div as we learned in our previous video. So we need to get the reference of this div, and then just we need to change the background, and if we want to change any style we need to put this style keyword here, and then let's say I want to change it to red, right? So what we did here, we added one event on click on this button, and then we assigned some function telling that whenever this button clicked we need to run this function. And what this function is doing, it's getting the reference of this simple div and then changing the color of background of this div. So let's run this and click on the button, and you can see the color of the div change. So you are making your page more interactive, right? Same way there are multiple events which you can assign with any of the element. So like this click event we have mouse over, right? So mouse over we can write like this on mouse over, and we can call for now let's say the same function. Okay, same function. And what will happen in this case, again whenever you mouse over on the div, when you take your mouse on the div, it should change the background of the div, right? So let's refresh it. So again your div become blue, and on the div we only added this mouse over function. So whenever I come here you can see on mouse over this div color is changing. One more thing is that when you are applying this event, any event on the whatever the element you are applying this event, you can send this inside that function, and what will happen, it will automatically capture the reference of that particular element where it's added, this event added. It will capture that particular element reference and it will pass that. So let's say on mouse over I am using this method and I am passing reference of this div, and I also want to change the only the style of this div only. So we don't need to write, or we don't need to get the reference of that div, because we already getting that from div itself. So what I did, I passed this here in that function. So what will happen, this will carry the reference of this div element, and this is the same div element which I want to change the color. So I don't need to write document.getElement by id and getting the reference of that things, but it will be done by this itself. Okay, so if I change it and refresh, and still you can see the functionality is same, right? Refresh, go, and the same, because this div element is actually having the reference of the same element where the mouse over event was picked. Okay, there are some other events like mouse up, on mouse up, on mouse down, and then you have some events related to text boxes, right? If you want to, let's say, having to check something whenever your value is changing in the text box, you can have something like that as well in your elements, right? So there are so many events which you can use, and we are seeing some of the example, and I just want to explain the what is events and how they work. And so let's say we have one input as type of text. Okay, and let's say this text having one id as, let's say, simple text. Okay, what I want to do with this input, whenever I type something and click outside, it should be change it to that value which I have written, change it to uppercase. Okay, so that I want to do. So for that there is one event on change. So whenever the change happened in your input, it will change the, it will trigger this function. So let's name it, create one new function, change to upper, let's say, just a normal name. And then what we can do, we can just pass this. So this will pass the reference of this input, and value is one of the attribute which carry the value of that this input text box. So we just passing this dot value, so we are eventually actually passing the value of your whatever you have written in this input element. So now let's create one new function, and the name of function should match whatever the name you have given here. Okay, then we are getting the text which is we got from the input, right? And then let's say also pass this, which is the reference of your text element. So let's pass that as well, text element. And what I want to do, after getting this text, I want to change it to uppercase, right? And then I want to again assign it to our text box. So what I can do, text element, So text element is actually the text box reference, and then what I want to do, I want to assign the value as whatever the text I have written to uppercase. This is the method which change any string to uppercase in JavaScript. Control S, refresh, and here you can see one text. So let me write Madan Mohan and click on outside, and you can see the text is getting changed, right? So what happened here, we assigned one event on change, and on change event we have assigned one function which is doing what, changing the text, whatever the text we have written, to uppercase. So whenever I write anything here, okay, and click outside, is trigger this on change event, and it's changing the text of your text box. So these were the some of the example which we can do. There are some other events which we're gonna discuss in our next chapter, and in our next video we also gonna discuss how you can add event totally dynamically using JavaScript. So we will not add any event inside your HTML, but from JavaScript itself. So for that we will see that in next one. And if you like this video, please click on the like button. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe to my channel, and happy coding.